Hey guys, it's Maite and welcome back to my channel. So today I am showing you guys my 2021 planner setup. This is the lineup for the year and we are so close to finishing off this crazy year. I know this has been a trying year for so many of us, all of us in reality, but I am so looking forward to turning a new page and just going into the new year with some positivity. So I'm going to be focusing on my two planners that I use on a daily basis, and that's going to be my daily planner as well as my weekly planner. And I'm going to go into more detail on how I use two planners, whether two planners is going to be something that you want to do for next year, and how I simplified my life a little bit more this year. I'm going to go over these two secondary tools. These are not planners that I am using on a daily basis whatsoever, and I will explain more about these later. So first up is the Simplified Planner by Emily Lay. This is going to be my daily planner. I have an entire full-length review on this planner that I did a couple years ago. I will leave that in the cards and in the comments down below, but not much has changed about this planner over the years, I promise. That's one of the reasons why it has such a cult following, because you know exactly what you're getting, and the upgrades that they make are usually of a quality standpoint. I love this planner. I've used it before, so I am switching from my Day Designer. And one of the reasons I'm switching from the Day Designer is just to change it up a little bit without radically changing my system. I love using a daily planner. I also bought this matching bookmark, which was also on sale for Black Friday. I think it was like $2, so it was a definite add-on for me. One of the things I really love about the Simplified Planner is I love their bright white paper and I love her signature color story. So January is navy blue, but then you have all of her happy stripe colors that coordinate. It has splashes of color, as you can see here, the Wednesday and Thursday, without it being overwhelming. So it's adding a little bit of a happy touch to my planner without it being like way too much, because I really am craving simplicity this year, and I just love that it is a very simple layout. I love using a daily planner as a stay-at-home mom. I have an entire video dedicated to how I use a daily planner as a stay-at-home mom. I may refilm it using the Simplified Planner for next year, but the video I have on my channel, I filmed it only a couple weeks ago, so I will leave that in the cards above. Next up is a new to me planner, but definitely an OG planner in the planner world. A lot of people don't talk about this planner. It's probably because it's not as like exciting as the other planners on the market, but this is the Gallery Leather Professional Planner, and it is so hard to find reviews on this or find people who are using this. I think their clientele is definitely like not in the planner community. I think it's like more people who use this as like a working planner, because I couldn't find much about it. So I will be glad to do a little mini walkthrough for you guys. So as you can see, I got my name monogrammed at the bottom. I love the gold on the planner, and the gilded pages are also really gorgeous. It's super thin and it is straightforward and simple, which is exactly what I wanted. So here is the calendar at a glance 2021. You have 2020 on the other side, which I'm not sure why 2020 is on the inside of 2021, but we'll keep it moving. You have 2022. Then you have your monthly spreads from July all the way through June of 2022. Zooming you guys in, these monthlies are not very wide at all. As you can tell, they are more of a vertical as opposed to a square box. I think I forgot to mention that the page size of this is 7x9. I will link this exact planner down below so you guys can check it out for yourselves. And what's interesting is the Saturday and Sunday on the monthly calendars is split. So this is not going to be the best for you if you heavily rely on a monthly calendar as your main planner. But for me, because I'm like in different planners and I don't really use my monthly planner on a religious basis, for me it's not a total deal breaker, because what's in the rest of the planner was what I wanted instead. So this is the reason why I bought this planner. I have been harping about just wanting a neutral hourly layout without the bells and whistles for a really long time. And I feel like that has just been lost in the fray. And so when I saw this, I knew that like this was it. This was the planner for me. So it starts at 7 in the morning and it goes all the way to 7:30 at night. So it is half-hour increments if you want it to be. You can also cross out the half hour. It's very, very tiny. I'm not even sure if you guys can see it. There is a lot of room to write down what you need to write down on each of the columns because your Saturdays and Sundays are shared. And not only are they shared, but you have a note section that also shares the same column as Saturday and Sunday. So that means there's also not a sidebar, which means that you're going to get even more room in your day-to-day columns than you would in a traditional Saturday and Sunday being split, as well as a sidebar. So if that were the case, then you'd get more traditional sized columns. Would I have preferred Saturday and Sunday to be separate? Yes, in an ideal world, but for my current setup, it's really not a deal breaker for me because I just love the simplicity of the planner. And again, I have my daily planner that I use. And so for me, it wasn't really that big of a deal. The holidays are marked here, as you can see. And I've said this a million times, it really doesn't bother me, but to each their own. So that's it. Like that is the planner. Like it's just a very simple, straight to the point, neutral, hourly layout. I did forget to mention that this is kind of more of a cream paper. I don't mind it in an ideal world. Would I want it to be bright white like the Simplified Planner? Probably. But I do like the classiness of the planner. Leather planner, the gilded pages. I think it kind of just goes with the planner. So I really don't mind. And the extras in the planner are pretty fun. So you have a note section, which is quite hefty. I mean, this is how many note pages you get, which I think in a bound planner is quite nice. Then you get a page of time zones, and then you have area codes. Just a very traditional planner. It just reminds me of those old school planners that have all of this information in it. Very similar to the mom agenda that I also reviewed, toll-free numbers and websites. And then you have holidays and dates of 2021. Birthdays and events, which I will be filling out very soon, personal data, and then you have a whole section in the back for world maps. The planner also does come with a ribbon to find your place, and it was quite affordable. I think I paid like $30-something for this on Black Friday. I will leave that information and all of what you need to know down below. But all in all, I just love how simple this is. So let me get to how I use both of these in tandem on a day-to-day basis and why I even bother to have a daily and a weekly planner as a stay-at-home mom. Now, there's 1,000,001 ways that you can split up having 2, 3, 4, 5 planners. A lot of people do work and personal or assign certain things in one planner and certain things in another planner. I don't split up my planners into categories. I split them up into how I want to view my week. So my daily planner is how I want to view my week on a micro level. This is a planner that I use to plan on a day-to-day basis. So plans are more subject to change in this planner. So let's say I map out my entire week in my weekly planner and then I get to Wednesday and I realize that something comes up that I really need to take care of. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that work in my daily planner. My weekly planner, which I prefer an hourly layout as of the past 2 years, is what I use to time block out my time. If you do want to see a video on how I time block my weeks and how I schedule out my weeks as a stay-at-home mom, let me know in the comments down below because I'd be happy to film it for you guys. So the first thing I do when I sit down to plan is I take my weekly planner and I start working backwards from what exactly I need to do and where I need to be that week. So obviously this has been a year where I haven't really been going much of anywhere, but that doesn't really matter because I still have chunks of my day that I have to sketch out. So I know for a fact that my daughter sleeps from about 12:30 or 1 depending on the day, all the way till 3:30. So those are her chunks of time for nap time. I know that I have my chunk of time for my morning routine, etc., etc. So All of that has to be mapped out, and I map that out through the week, and then I start scheduling in the things that I need to do. So this gives me a macro view of my week, because then I know, okay, like if this comes up, I definitely can't do it on a Thursday. I have to move it to Friday. Or if I want to do something for the week and I take just one glance of my week, I know either I'm going to have to push it back or I'm going to have to cross something off. So that makes prioritizing so much easier. It makes productive planning so much easier because it makes my week go by so much smoother when I can just take one look at my week. This is what I have to get done. More importantly, this is when I can do it, because just having a running to-do list without knowing when you're doing things, for me personally, makes it trickier to get those things done, especially since I have a toddler at home. And having a daily planner also means that I have more room to write certain things in. For example, like I said, my Saturday and Sundays in my weekly planner are shared, and in the Simplified Planner, they're also shared as well. But this page is much bigger than the column in my weekly planner. I have a lot more room to write things down here. I have a lot more room to write things down on a day-to-day basis. And as I mentioned earlier, things are more subject to change, and I fuss around more with my daily planner. So this is a little bit more specific, and then the weekly planner gets a little bit more broad. Now, do you need a two-planner system? Absolutely not. You don't have to have a two-planner system. You can use one planner to plan your entire life. It does not matter. However, I am more of a visual person. This system has just been working for me for a while. My previous system from last year, I was in the Happy Planner, which I had been in for a while, and that worked just as well. I had an hourly layout. You can click on the video on why I left the Happy Planner setup, and I will leave it in the cards. I get into way more detail about why I had to leave that Franken planning setup. Another thing I'll note about why I wanted to switch to a bound planner as opposed to the millions of other options out there, and including the fact that I actually designed my own inserts hourly for the Happy Planner, and I completely designed a planner from scratch because that's not really hard for me to do. And I just didn't want to print it out. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go through all of that effort. I think there's seasons for everything, and I'm just not in the season where I want to spend 5 hours setting up a planner. I'm just going to be completely honest. I love planners. I love planning. I love organization, but sometimes you just kind of have to take stock with yourself and be honest and be like, listen, this is not the season where I'm going to take an entire Saturday to set up this planner. I don't want to print it out. I don't want to punch it. I don't want to do any of the above. And sometimes in disc-bound planners, you can get really carried away taking things in and out, which is originally why I love the disc-bound system so much, and I will always recommend it, and I may even go back to it at one point in time. But that can also be a distraction because I was constantly taking things in and out, constantly trying to perfect it. If you suffer from perfectionism, you know what I'm talking about. So I was constantly just fidgeting with it because it's so easy to take things in and out. But I just kind of wanted to have a record of my year. I wanted something a little bit more permanent. I'm kind of getting a little sappy as a mom now, and I kind of just wanted a book where I could see oh yeah, this was 2021. And I almost envision in 10 years, I have 10 of these little books or books like this that are similar, and I can go back and see how much I've grown over the years. Whereas all of the Happy Planner pages and disc-bound pages that I've had over the years, I have just thrown them out after I've used them because I have no need to keep them anymore. So that's just another reason why I left that system for right now. The next planner I want to talk about is the Lara Powersheets, the Cultivate What Matters Goal Planner. Now, I have an entire video dedicated to a complete, thorough walkthrough of this entire planner, a very thorough review and all of my thoughts and why I bought this planner this year. I get very personal in that video. If you want to go check it out, I will leave that video in the cards and in the description box down below. Also, I will be going live this Sunday at I think 1 p.m. because that's my daughter's nap time. I will be discussing on that live how I was able to do this entire goal setting process in one day. I did it during Cultivate Your Year Live, which was an event that you had to buy a ticket for that was hosted by the Cultivate What Matters team. And they pretty much promised that you would be able to get through your entire goal setting process in one day. And that is exactly why I bought the ticket. I was able to do that. So I thought it would be really fun to go live with you guys and talk about my goals for next year, whether Cultivate Your Year Live was worth it, if I'll be going back next year, kind of my thoughts on Goal School, which is separate from Cultivate Your Year Live. So if you are curious about this planner and you have questions, or you have this planner and you want accountability and you want to set up goals with someone this Sunday, please, please, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss out on that live because it's going to be a lot of fun. So just a sneak peek, this is the vision board that I did for next year, and I will be going into way more detail about the goals that I chose for myself. So I even already started my tending list for January, and that was another thing that I was able to do. So I got through quite a bit of the prep work pretty quickly. I'm going to be using this planner as exactly as it was intended, as a goal setting tool. I will be checking in on this planner on a weekly and monthly basis. I will just be going over the habits that I want to accomplish on a daily basis, and then the weekly things I want to accomplish, as well as the monthly action items I want to accomplish. This isn't going to be too much work for me because I'm just going to schedule in writing out the tending list once a month and then going back and checking things off as I accomplish them. So this is definitely not a planner I'll be using on a daily basis, but I do really like the calendar in this planner. It is nice and spacious. So what I will be using the monthly calendar for is to only track the goals that I have set in this planner. So absolutely nothing else is going in this planner except for goal milestones that I want to reach and certain important dates that are relevant to my goals. So I think that would be really great to keep it separate. Do you need a goal planner like this? Is it an absolute necessity? No, I talk about it more in my entire review of the power sheets. However, I am in this season of life where I do need a goal planner again. It's been a couple years since I've had one, and it's already keeping me on track. I'm already working towards some of the goals that I want to accomplish for next year, and it's not even January 1st yet. So I would call that a win in my opinion. All right, so on to this humongous planner. This is the Carrie Elle Meal Planning Planner. I also did an entire flip through and review on this planner. I do really love this planner, and I get into way more detail in that video. I did switch out the cover for an monogrammed EC cover in blue to match my setup. And I'm really overhauling meal planning this year. As I mentioned in that video, if you haven't watched it, I am really over thinking about food 24/7 with everything that's going on and with all of us being home all the time. And it's definitely been a learning curve. So I am using this to radically change how I've meal planned for the past several years. I will be meal planning in much bigger chunks of time. So I will not be meal planning in my weekly planner or my daily planner. I am going to be meal planning for like really big chunks of time. I actually have an entire video coming up on exactly how I'm doing that next year. So I think some of you are going to be shocked with how extreme I'm really taking that process, but I just like don't have the mental energy to like sit down and do this every week anymore. Like I just really don't. So this is the perfect tool for that because I'm just going to be sitting down and doing it all at once. I will still be loosely putting down, what we're going to eat in my daily planner just as a reminder, but in terms of the actual planning, like this is probably where it's going down, as well as on my Google Calendar. Another reason why you want to stay subscribed to this channel and keep tabs on my community tab is that yesterday I actually put up a post that said if you could guess this planner that I would buy your planner for 2021. So those of you who guessed it right, I will have already picked one of you to buy your 2021 planner for next year. So I will be doing fun things like that on my community tab here on my channel. So congratulations to the winner. All right, guys, that is how I'm simplifying my life a little bit more in 2021. I hope you found it useful, the breakdown on how I use 2 planners as a stay-at-home mom. If you like this video as much as I enjoyed filming it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe on your way out. And as always, I will catch you in my next one. Bye, guys.